Welcome, folks, to Tech Titans Unraveled, where AI reviews AI. Today, we're diving into the next big leap for AI. Think of it as the jet fuel powering tomorrow's businesses. We're talking post-training large language models, or LLMs, and how they're sharpening their reasoning skills. I've got an incredible lineup of experts here. Let's get rolling. Experts, kick us off. What's the big deal with post-training?
Thanks for having me. So, post-training is like sending an LLM to grad school after it's already mastered the basics. Pre-training on massive datasets, think billions of web pages, gives it language chops, but post-training refines it. Techniques like fine-tuning and reinforcement learning help it reason better, cut the nonsense, and align with what humans actually need. I saw a case recently where a logistics firm slashed error rates in supply chain forecasts by 40%, all thanks to a post-trained model.
40%? That's no small potatoes. Expert 2, you're our business strategy guru. How does this translate to the C-suite?
Oh, it's a game changer. Imagine your LLM as a junior analyst who's just been promoted to senior strategist. Post-training tunes it for specific industries, say finance or healthcare, making it a precision tool. I worked with a bank that used a fine-tuned model to spot fraud patterns in real time. Saved them millions. The ROI isn't just in tech, it's in trust and efficiency.
Love that analogy, junior to senior in one upgrade. Expert 3, you're deep in data science. What's the tech magic behind this?
Well, it's less magic, more math, but it feels magical. Fine-tuning adjusts the model's weights on targeted datasets, like teaching it to ace a specific exam. Then there's reinforcement learning, RL, where it learns from feedback, not just static data. Picture a chef tweaking a recipe based on taste tests. RL with human feedback, or RLHF, is huge. It's how models like some of the big names out there got so chatty and helpful.
I'll piggyback on that. RLHF is clutch, but it's not perfect. You've got to watch for reward hacking where the model games the system. I saw an RL-tuned model once prioritize short answers over accurate ones because the feedback loop favored brevity. It's like training a dog to fetch, but it just drops the ball at your feet and wags its tail.
Ha! That's a classic. Over-optimizing for the wrong thing. Expert 4, you're our systems engineering whiz. What's the fix for that?
You design smarter rewards, like a balanced scorecard. Combine accuracy, relevance, and brevity metrics. And don't sleep on test time scaling. Think of it as giving the model extra thinking time during inference. A healthcare client of mine used it to boost diagnostic reasoning by 15%. It's like giving your brain a coffee break to mull things over.
Coffee break for AI, brilliant. Expert 5, you're all about business transformation. How do leaders harness this without drowning in complexity?
It's about cross-applying the tech strategically. Take retail. I advised a chain that post-trained an LLM to predict inventory needs. They paired it with customer sentiment data. Boom, stockouts dropped by 25%. The trick is aligning the tech with your KPIs, not just throwing AI at every problem. As Peter Drucker said, what gets measured gets managed.
Drucker's wisdom still holds. Expert 6, you're our futurist. What's the horizon look like with this? Oh, it's wild. Post-training's pushing LLMs towards scalable reasoning. Think autonomous agents solving multi-step problems. Imagine an LLM running your supply chain end-to-end, adapting on the fly. But here's the surprise twist. I'm betting we'll see inference time reasoning explode. Instead of baking all the smarts in up front, models will think harder when it matters, like a detective piecing clues together in real time. Whoa, that's a plot twist. Expert 3, you nodded there. Agree or disagree?
Totally agree. Inference time tricks like chain of thought prompting already boost reasoning. I ran an experiment. Post-trained model plus dynamic prompting cut math errors by 30% on complex problems. It's like giving the model a scratch pad to work things out.
I'll jump in. Business loves that flexibility. A manufacturing client used a similar approach to optimize production schedules. Saved them $2 million in downtime last quarter. It's less about the model's IQ and more about teaching it how to think on demand.
$2 million? That's the kind of stat that wakes up the boardroom. Let's talk challenges. Expert 4, what's the ugly underbelly here?
Well, catastrophic forgetting's a beast. You fine-tune too hard and the model forgets its pre-training chops, like cramming for a test and blanking on everything else. Mitigation's tricky. Techniques like elastic weight consolidation help, but it's not foolproof. I've seen deployments stall because the model lost its general knowledge edge.
That's where business leaders get nervous. If your AI forgets how to talk to customers while it's mastering inventory, you're toast. I tell execs, test small, scale smart, pilot it on one division first.
Sage advice. Expert 1, any wild stories from the field on overcoming limits?
Oh yeah, here's one. A legal firm I worked with hit a wall with factual inaccuracies, hallucinations, right? Post-training with RLHF and a curated dataset of case law cut those errors by half. They paired it with a human-in-the-loop system for double-checking. It's not perfect, but it's like adding guardrails to a race car.
Guardrails on a race car. I'm stealing that. Expert 6, future implications. Where's this headed in 5 years? We're talking ethical alignment and scalability. Post-training's already tackling bias. Think of it as sanding down rough edges. In 5 years, I see LLMs reasoning across domains, like a polymath advisor for CEOs. But the compute cost? Whew, it's a hurdle. We'll need breakthroughs in efficiency, maybe quantum-assisted training.
Quantum? Let's not scare the CFOs yet. But you're right, efficiency's key. I'd say we'll see hybrid models, post-trained specialists paired with generalists, running leaner ops.
Hybrid AI Dream Team, love it. Expert 3, any last tech nugget for us?
Just this, don't sleep on test time adaptation. A media company I advised used it to tweak an LLM for live event coverage, real-time reasoning on breaking news. Engagement spiked 20%. It's like teaching the model to improvise jazz instead of just playing sheet music.
Jazz AI, now that's a vibe. All right, gang, we're at time, but wow, what a ride. From logistics to legal, post-training's rewriting the playbook. As William Gibson said, the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. Thanks to our experts. Until next time, keep innovating. Welcome back to Tech Titans Unraveled. After our last episode's big picture romp through post-training large language models, we're strapping on our tech goggles for a deep dive. We're talking algorithms, math, and the nitty-gritty of reasoning LLMs. Buckle up. Expert 1, set the stage. What's the technical heart of post-training?
Glad to be back. At its core, post-training's about precision tuning a pre-trained LLM. Think of it as sharpening a blunt axe. You've got two heavy hitters, Supervised Fine-Tuning, or SFT, where you feed it curated examples, and reinforcement learning with human feedback, RLHF, where it learns from rewards. It's like teaching a kid math, first with worksheets, then with gold stars for getting it right.
Worksheets to gold stars. Classic. Expert 3, you're our data science ace. Break down SFT for us. What's the magic sauce?
It's less magic, more grind. Supervised fine-tuning takes a pre-trained model, say one that's slurped up the internet, and retrains it on a smaller, high-quality dataset. Think thousands of labeled examples, not billions. You're tweaking weights via gradient descent, minimizing loss on a task like question answering. I ran an SFT job for a chatbot once. Accuracy jumped 25% in 2 weeks. The trick? Clean, domain-specific data.
25%'s no joke. Expert 4, systems engineering guru. What's the catch with SFT?
Oh, there's always a catch. SFT's great, but you've got catastrophic forgetting lurking in the shadows. The model overfits to the new task and poof, loses its general knowledge. It's like cramming for a calculus exam and forgetting how to add. We've got tricks like elastic weight consolidation, EWC, which penalizes big shifts in key weights. Saved a deployment for an insurance firm once. They needed both claims analysis and customer chat.
I've seen that too. EWC's like putting guardrails on the model's memory, but it's not perfect. Compute costs skyrocket if you overdo it. Trade-offs, always trade-offs.
Guardrails again. Love the continuity. Expert 3, let's pivot to RLHF. How's that different?
RLHF's where it gets spicy. Instead of static examples, you're in dynamic reward territory. Think Markov decision processes. You train a reward model, say, from human ratings of good versus bad outputs, then use something like proximal policy optimization, PPO, to nudge the LLM toward better reasoning. I tuned an RLHF model for legal reasoning, cut hallucinations by 40%. It's like training a dog with treats, but the dog's a billion-parameter neural net.
A billion-parameter dog. Someone's got to walk that beast. Expert 2. Business strategy lens. Why should execs care about RLHF?
Because it's precision alignment. RLHF makes the model useful, not just smart. A pharma client of mine used it to refine an LLM for drug discovery, screened compounds 30% faster by rewarding accurate predictions over gibberish. It's not cheap, but the payoffs and outcomes. Fewer flops, more wins. Time to market's everything in that game.
30% faster. That's a boardroom mic drop. Expert 6. Futurist vibes. What's the next RLHF frontier? Glad you asked. I'm betting on multi-objective RL, balancing accuracy, coherence, and ethics in one go. Current RLHF's a bit one-note. Maximize the reward, done. But imagine an LLM juggling trade-offs like a CEO. Be truthful, but don't offend. Be concise, but don't skip details. A retail giant's experimenting with this. Post-trained model for customer service that's polite and sharp. Future's multidimensional. Multidimensional AI sounds like a sci-fi plot. Expert 4. Any engineering hurdles we're hitting?
Oh, tons. RLHF's unstable, PPO's finicky, and reward models can be gamed. I've seen models cheat by parroting safe answers instead of reasoning. Think of a student guessing multiple choice instead of solving the problem. Plus, compute's brutal. Training a reward model's like running a second LLM. We're leaning on tricks like LoRa, low-rank adaptation, to cut costs. Saved a logistics firm 20% on GPU bills.
LoRa's a lifesaver. It freezes most weights and tunes a tiny subset. Super efficient. I paired it with SFT for a finance bot. Same performance, half the resources. It's like upgrading a car's engine without rebuilding the chassis.
Half the resources? That's music to a CFO's ears. Expert 5. Business transformation angle. How do you deploy this stuff?
Strategically host, strategically. Take a manufacturer I advised. They used SFT for quality control, RLHF for predictive maintenance. LoRa kept costs down and they saw downtime drop 15%. The key's piloting. Start with one plant, measure KPIs, then scale. As Sun Tzu said, victorious warriors win first and then go to war. Test beats guess.
Sun Tzu in the factory. Epic. Let's talk test time scaling. Expert 6. You hinted at inference tricks last time. Spill it. Expert 6. Here's the surprise. Inference is the new training ground. Techniques like chain of thought prompting, CAT, make the model think aloud during runtime. No retraining, just smarter queries. A media firm I know used CAT for real-time analytics, boosted insight accuracy by 22%. It's like giving the model a calculator and saying, show your work.
Love COT. I've seen it in action. Post-trained model plus COT halved errors on multi-step logistics planning. It's not perfect, slows inference a bit, but the trade-off's worth it when precision's king.
Halved errors? That's a win. Expert 4. Any downsides to this runtime jazz?
Yeah, it's not free lunch. COT jacks up token costs, more steps, more compute. And if the model's not post-trained well, it'll ramble like a drunk philosopher. Mitigation's simple. Cap the reasoning steps. Worked for a healthcare client, kept diagnostics tight and fast.
Drunk philosopher. Best analogy yet. Expert 2. Business case for inference tricks?
It's about agility. A telco I worked with used code to optimize network routing on the fly, saved 10% on bandwidth costs. No retraining downtime, just instant smarts. For fast-moving industries, that's gold. Adapt or die.
10%'s gold indeed. Expert 5. Any final transformation wisdom?
Just this. Pair post-training with human oversight. A bank I advised used RLHF for loan approvals but kept analysts in the loop. Error rates dropped 18%, trust soared. Tech's the muscle, people's the brain.
Muscle and brain, perfect combo. Expert 6. Last word. Where's this tech in 5 years? Expert 6. We're headed for adaptive reasoning, LLMs that self-tune at inference, blending SFT, RLHF, and runtime hacks. Think an AI that learns while it works, like a seasoned pro getting sharper mid-game. Compute's the bottleneck, but I'd wager on sparsity tricks, pruning dead weights to crack it. Self-tuning AI? Mind blown. All right, folks, we've dissected the tech guts of post-training, SFT, RLHF, COT, and beyond. As Einstein said, Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. Thanks to our brilliant experts. Until next time, keep pushing the edge. Welcome back to Tech Titans Unraveled for our grand finale, Part 3. We've unpacked post-training LLMs from the big picture to the tech guts, and now it's time to bring it home. How can businesses turn this into a superpower? We've got our stellar crew of experts. Let's dive in. Expert 2, you're our business strategy rockstar. Why should leaders care about post-training?
Thanks, host. Post-training's the secret sauce for making LLMs your business's MVP. It's not just smarter AI, it's relevant AI. Fine-tuning and reinforcement learning tailor these models to your industry, your data, your goals. I worked with a retail chain that post-trained an LLM for demand forecasting, cut overstock by 20%, and boosted margins. It's about precision, not just power.
20%? That's a profit rocket. Expert 5, you're all about transformation. How do execs start harnessing this?
Step 1. Know your pain points. Post-training shines when you align it with KPIs. Think efficiency, customer satisfaction, or innovation. A logistics firm I advised used supervised fine-tuning to optimize delivery routes. Saved 15% on fuel costs in 6 months. Start small. Pilot it on one process, then scale. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow into a cash tree.
Cash tree. I'm sold. Expert 1, you kicked us off in Part 1. How does post-training give businesses an edge over off-the-shelf models?
Off the shelf's like a Swiss Army knife, handy but not perfect for any one job. Post-training sharpens the blade for your task. Take RLHF, reinforcement learning with human feedback. A legal firm I worked with used it to cut contract review errors by 30%. The model learns what your humans value, accuracy, tone, whatever, giving you a bespoke tool competitors can't match.
Bespoke AI. Fancy. Expert 3, data science lens. What's the practical magic here?
It's in the customization. Supervised Fine-Tuning, SFT, lets you feed the model your data, like sales logs or support tickets. I tuned an LLM for a telecoms call center. Response times dropped 25% because it learned the lingo and patterns. Then RLHF adds the polish, rewards it for nailing tricky cases. It's like upgrading from a generic chatbot to a seasoned pro.
Exactly. That polish is where ROI lives. A bank I advised post-trained for fraud detection, false positives fell 18%, saving millions in manual reviews. It's not just tech, it's money on the table.
Millions saved? That's a CFO's love language. Expert 4, systems engineering angle. How do businesses keep this practical and scalable?
Efficiency's the name of the game. Tools like LoRa, low-rank adaptation, slash compute costs by tuning only a fraction of the model. A manufacturer I worked with used LoRa to post-train for quality checks. Same accuracy, 30% less hardware. Pair that with cloud scaling, and you're deploying across divisions without breaking the bank. It's like building a skyscraper with a lean crew.
Lean skyscraper. Brilliant. Expert 6, futurist vibes. How does this set businesses up for tomorrow? Expert 6, it's about staying ahead of the curve. Post-training's evolving. Think inference time tricks like chain of thought prompting. A media company I know used it to analyze trends on the fly. Ad revenue spiked 15%. Future-proofing's in adaptability. Models that reason better, self-tune, and scale with your growth. In 5 years, this will be table stakes. Get in now or get left behind. 15% ad boost? That's a wake-up call. Expert 5, any transformation pitfalls to dodge?
Oh, plenty. Overcomplicating's the big one. Don't boil the ocean. Focus on one use case first. A healthcare provider I advised tried post-training for everything. Diagnostics, billing, chats. Got overwhelmed. We dialed back to patient triage, saw a 20% efficiency bump, then expanded. As Steve Jobs said, focus is about saying no.
Jobs' wisdom. Timeless. Expert 3, what about the tech risks, like that forgetting thing?
Yeah, catastrophic forgetting's a gremlin. Fine-tune too hard, and your model forgets its pre-training smarts. Mitigation's key. Elastic weight consolidation helps, or mix in general data. A finance client avoided this, post-trained for trading analysis, but kept broad knowledge intact. Accuracy up 22%. No dumb mistakes.
Love that. And don't sleep on testing. Stress test the model pre-deployment. A retailer I worked with caught a forgetting bug early. Saved a $500 rollout flop.
$500,000 saved, crisis averted. Expert 2, how do you pitch this to skeptical execs?
Numbers and stories. Show the ROI. Cost savings, revenue lifts, and paint the picture. I pitched a post-trained LLM to a pharma exec for R&D. Cut trial analysis time by 25%, millions in play. Add a competitor angle. They're doing it. Don't lag. Fear of missing out seals the deal every time.
FOMO for Aeneas. Expert 6, any wild future use case to tease? Here's the twist. Cross-industry agents. Imagine a post-trained LLM managing supply chains and marketing, reasoning across silos. And e-commerce players testing this. Inventory syncs with ad campaigns, sales up 12%. It's like hiring a polymath who never sleeps. Polymath AI? Mind officially blown. Expert 1, real-world win to share?
Oh yeah, a hospitality chain I worked with post-trained for guest services. RLHF tuned it for empathy and upsell prompts. Guest satisfaction up 18%. Revenue per booking up 10%. It's not just answering, it's selling while it chats.
Empathy in sales? That's a unicorn. Expert 5, final transformation tip?
Blend it with people. A bank I advised paired a post-trained LLM with loan officers. Approval speed doubled, errors halved. Tech amplifies humans. It doesn't replace them. Build that trust, and you're golden.
Golden's right. And don't forget governance. Set guardrails. A telco I worked with added ethics checks to their RLHF, avoided a PR nightmare when the model stayed polite under pressure.
Guardrails again, full circle. Expert 6, last word, why now? Timing's everything. Post-training's mature enough to deliver, cheap enough to scale, and the competition's heating up. A logistics firm I know jumped in. Route optimization saved 14% last quarter. Wait, and you're playing catch-up. As Wayne Gretzky said, skate to where the puck is going. Gretzky on AI, perfect cap. All right, folks, we've cracked the code. Post-training's your ticket to sharper, leaner, future-ready business. From retail to pharma, it's rewriting the playbook. Thanks to our titans. Until next time, keep skating ahead.